Let me tell you what I was doing a couple of weeks ago with this flag. I was walking beside my father, carrying this flag. I was walking down Pennsylvania Avenue, carrying this flag. I was walking down Pennsylvania Avenue with 1 million of my good friends, with the Capitol in front of me. The dome, I could see it, the symbol of freedom for around the world. It was in front of me. In the White House. Well, my rear was facing the White House. But I was, wave this for me.
All right.
I was carrying that flag because you and me, we're concerned about this country. We're fearful that what we have all come to know and to love is being threatened. I was marching, we were marching, you're here today because you know something is wrong. I know something is wrong. In that march, people have talked about that march and what it meant, but every march that's ever occurred in Washington has been about self-interest. Some special interest group was marching, some self-interest group was marching, but those folks that day, they were marching not for their own special interest. They were marching for our common interest as Americans. Our common interest in life, in liberty, and in property. Our founders gave us a wonderful document, our Declaration Statement. It spelled out our blueprint to create the greatest prosperity ever known to man. We have a blueprint. The United States Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, I believe that they are holy documents, that they were inspired by God Almighty. And when we held to His hand, when we abided by those documents, we did prosper into the greatest nation. There are two political philosophies and only two. It's not Republican, Democrat. It is not liberal and conservative. It is the belief in the individual. Our founders' belief in the individual, that you are responsible for your behavior. Your behavior determines your successes or your failures in life. You are responsible for yourself. You are not responsible for your neighbor's mortgage. You're not responsible for the failed bank down the street. You are not responsible for someone else's health care. You are responsible for yourself. And when that belief is understood and respected as our founders intended by what they wrote in our Declaration Statement, by what they wrote in our Constitution, when people are allowed to succeed, they succeed. But there is also failure. Some people do make bad choices, but they must live with the consequences, and either they learn from them or they don't. The other belief is in the belief of the group or the belief in government. That philosophy is dangerous because that philosophy says, I know better than you. Because some people will make poor choices, therefore we need government to make choices for them. Some people may fail, so we need government to ensure nobody fails. And when nobody fails, nobody succeeds. And when nobody succeeds, our nation becomes poor. There are those who think they are smarter than us. We have those that want to destroy what we have and put in place what they believe is good for us. And we're supposed to sit back, shut up, and take it. I'm not going to take it, and I hope you won't either. All you have to do is look at the Korean Peninsula and understand what's at stake. 50 years ago, a line was drawn right down the middle of the country. And up until that point, it was one country, one common language, one culture, shared natural resources, virtually no difference between the North and the South. But a line was drawn, and those in the North got to experience the blessings of socialism. Those in the North, it started out that well-intended people wanted to empower those and lift them out of poverty. So they took from one and gave to another. And as the government grew, as the government began to take more and more control, the country became poorer and poorer. Last March, the UN issued a report. 40% of the population of North Korea is in danger of starvation. In the last 10 years, between 500,000 and 2 million North Koreans have died of hunger. They died. They walk around bent over because their stomachs hurt. They eat grass and sticks and twigs, anything to satisfy that hunger. The blessings of socialism provided that to them. It took 50 years, while their neighbors to the south got to experience the blessings of liberty, the blessings of freedom, and today South Korea boasts the world's 13th largest economy. They're among the wealthiest nations on earth. The only difference is in government. The only difference is the belief in government or the belief in the individual. 50 years is not that great of a time span. But unless a sleeping nation wakes up and understands what's at stake, unless a sleeping nation stands up and understands that we must get off our couches, we must no longer trade comfort for principle, that we must no longer trade comfort for what's right. It requires nations, this democracy, this all that we have, it does require maintenance. It requires heavy lifting. And today is that day of heavy lifting. We must understand what's at stake. We must get out. We must examine all the candidates. And when someone starts talking about what government or the group can do for you, run. When someone talks about freedom, that's the choice that needs to be made, because it's really ultimately up to us. We're blessed in a nation where we choose our leaders, and the choice is ours. I ask that you please choose wisely.